What's going on, guys? This is Ryan here. edcgearonline.com is my website. Just random reviews and ramblings about the gear I have and the gear that I love. You might enjoy it, so check it out if you have a minute. Today I want to talk about my favorite everyday carry blade. Guys, no bullshit, this is it. This is the Spyderco Lady Bug. Now, I've got a lot of other knives and multi-tools and things that are great, maybe more capable, maybe more attractive, but this is the knife that I carry every single day, all day, everywhere, and it gets the most use. Let me tell you why, alright? First of all, look at the size. I don't have the exact specs here, but here, let me show you this. This is just your average tube of chapstick. Look at how small this knife is, alright? It's about the same length as a tube of chapstick, even thinner. This thing just disappears. I do know that it's 0.6 ounces or 18 grams. I mean, you drop this thing in your pocket, you can't even tell it's there. And nobody else can either. You know, I've actually been through metal detectors, pat downs. I actually got arrested, okay? I live in Bangkok, Thailand. I actually got arrested and searched, obviously, when they brought me in. That's a long story too. Maybe I'll tell, if you want to know that story, just leave a comment. But anyway, they didn't find this, alright? They searched me, they took everything out of my pockets. This was in my pocket, but they didn't feel it. Not that it's like a big deadly weapon or anything, but what's great about this little knife is that it's very non-threatening, okay? You know, like I said, I live in an urban environment, and if I need to use a knife, I don't want to whip out some big sword, you know. I don't want to whip out like the paramilitary 2 with the camouflage handle and the black blade. People might take a few steps back, you know, when they see that. And I don't have any fantasies of knife fighting or using a knife for self-defense. So strictly utilitarian type roles. This thing's perfect. I mean, this thing handles 99% of the tasks with no problem, you know, just opening mail, packages, things like that. This thing does it with ease. You know, it's not really great for food prep and things like that, but I usually do that in a kitchen anyway, so I don't need to be carrying a larger blade. You know, so if you're camping and things like that, of course you want to have something bigger, but for just the urban minimal EDC, I suggest you guys check this out. I mean, what's great about this little knife is not only is it small, but it's so high quality. If you're familiar with the Delica and the Endura, which I'm sure you are, I mean, that's the most popular EDC knives on the planet, probably is Spyderco Delica, or it's one of them. But this is basically just a shrunken down version of the Delica. All right, you get the same rock solid lockback design. I love the lockback on these Spydercos. I mean, this thing just pops open super tight. I mean, there's just no blade play, you know. You know, a lot of people say, oh, why would you even need a lock on such a tiny blade? Listen, bottom line is, slip joints just give me the creeps. I don't know. I've had a knife fold on my fingers before when I was younger, and I just like a solid lockback knife. I don't care how small it is. So I like to have that lockback. Okay, it's got the same awesome blade that's standard on the Delicas. This is, sorry I can't focus, but it says Spyderco VG10. I really like the VG10 steel. It takes a nice sharp edge and it holds it for a long time. And I've had this knife for a while and I haven't even sharpened it because it's a light use knife anyway. I haven't been chopping down trees with it. But the VG10 is awesome, right? Now you also have the great FRN handle here, the bi-directional texturing, which is just awesome. I mean, if your hands are wet, sweaty, rain, dirt, blood, mud, whatever, you can still grip onto that knife, okay? The spine's got jimping as well as the thumb ramp. So even though it's a tiny knife, it is not a cheap piece of shit, okay? This is the Lady Bug 3, so as you can see, it doesn't have rivets. There's actually, I know I can't focus my shitty phone, but there's hex heads, so you can actually adjust that or take it apart, which I don't know why you would take it apart, but the option is there. Okay, so this is a high quality knife, even though it's small. All right, so that's why I like it. It's high quality, it's super lightweight, it can go with you anywhere, and it's very non-threatening. And you won't forget to bring it at home. I mean, even if I'm at the gym, this is on my keys, okay? Or wherever I'm going. The only thing is if I fly, you know, I have to stick it in my suitcase just because I don't want them to take it from me. Bullshit, you know, whatever. But this is just a shrunken version of the amazing Delica and Endura type knives. So I highly recommend it. And another thing that's cool about it is the options. Okay, they come in a bunch of different colors and blade steels. You can get the H1, which is totally rust resistant. Guys, I've gotten this thing wet, sweaty, disgusting, and I've never seen rust on it. So the H1, it may be cool, but it seems like overkill to me. I also heard that blade steel is pretty soft. I don't know if somebody wants to comment on that. I have no experience with H1. They have a version that's ZDP 189, and it has a full flat grind on the blade, which is really cool, guys. Once you try a full flat grind on a blade, it's hard to go back because that thing slices so good. I mean, it's amazing. But still, even with this saber grind, the standard version here, I love it. I mean, it's just fine for small, light use that I use it for. They also have different handle colors, you know, if you want to get it in yellow or orange, I mean, that's even less threatening, if you can imagine somebody being scared of this. But in a bright color on your keys, nobody's going to care. I mean, you can whip this thing out, you know, in the police department and start opening a package, and nobody's going to even look at you crazy. So that's really the beauty of it, especially in the EDC role, and especially for me, whereas, you know, in America I carried a Spyderco Endura waved version for many years, and I had it clipped right on my pocket, and I didn't care who saw it. But now I live in a foreign country, and I live in a big city, and I don't want, you know, any issues whatsoever. So this is the blade that I use. But I would say, even if you are in America or somewhere that allows you to carry a large knife, having a small knife like this just to use in a public environment is definitely useful. I mean, there's no question. And if you're gonna get a small keychain knife, I've experimented with lots of them. The small Victorinox knives, you know, some of the other, you know, cheap little folders, slip joints, and things like that. This is the best. I mean, this is the smallest, lightest, while still actually being useful. All right, so check that out. And they also make a stainless version, a stainless handle, which I feel like getting just because it's more of a gentleman's folder. It's classy looking, whereas this looks kind of cheap, but it's still functional, you know, and it's so lightweight. So if you're gonna have it on your keys, this is the version I recommend. Just the VG10, the plain edge, the plain blade, or saber grind, I should say, and the black FRN scales. So check that out. And also, I'd like to say, check out my next video, because I'm going to show you my full EDC, and I have something that I clip onto this that you might get some value out of that video. All right, so I'll just say check that out. But this is it. You know, I've got a lot of cool blades, and I used to carry a lot of great stuff back in the States, but this is the one that is in my pocket 24/7, 365. Even if I'm at the gym, even if I'm jogging. If I'm jogging, this is in my pocket, all right, with my keys. So guys, check out my website if you get a chance. I've got a bunch of other reviews. I'm just getting started on the YouTube now, but hope to be talking to a lot more of you guys, all right? That's a long-ass video on a little-ass knife, but I'm going to leave it at that. EDCGearOnline.com. Thanks for watching. Peace.